I work at the University of Florida. We have an Institute on Aging and a Department of Aging and Geriatric Research. We work with many of the institutes, including the Institute of Myology, which is led by Lee Sweeney, who's here as well at this meeting. So in general, we want to talk a little bit about physical activity and aging. We all know that many species, including humans, they slow down as we get older. We become less active. So is this something normal, or is this something we want to continue to stimulate as we get older? So those are big questions. We do know that people typically that are physically active, they do live a few years longer, and they have also less conditions of diseases. But again, the big question is, how can we first understand some of the things, the mechanisms that happen with exercise, and then secondary is what type of exercise can we stimulate or motivate in older individuals. You know, walking is still, I think, a main way to slow the aging process. It's a natural way, but are there other ways, including electrical stimulation, resistance training, and combining this with maybe some anabolic treatments or nutritional treatments. As we know, as we get older, the cells don't work that well. There's something called genome instability, and the ability to express certain proteins, especially under stressful conditions, is declined. If you're young, you can play a heavy soccer game, next day you're ready and you can go again. So there's quick repair of tissues and quick remodeling. And this ability declines with old age. So that's it's a major problem, this genome instability. So what looks like what we need to do is multiple treatments to intervene in the elderly. So it's not only walking, which is probably still going to be very important, but we may need some other treatments to prevent muscle loss and a condition called sarcopenia or dynapenia. So we need multiple ways to stimulate the cells because they're not working that well, or multiple times during the day, but we don't know the answers there, for example, yet. In an elderly, what the optimum time is and the dose we can give. We, at the University of Florida, we conducted about a 5-year study, and we looked at a population that was going to go into disability, so a pre-disability population. And we had 2 interventions: exercise, walking. We also had some resistance training, some leg lifts. And then we had a health education group where they had general lectures. This is the control group, general lectures on good health. And there were some remarkable findings published in the New England Journal of Medicine. This again was the first randomized phase 3 clinical trial at multiple sites in the United States. It was quite costly. That physical activity prevented disabilities in these participants. So again, it's a major finding, but then again, we want to see some of the biological reasons for why this happens. And it didn't happen to all the people, by the way. So some people were not responsive, and that's also interesting. So we need to find multiple treatments for those folks to make sure they do get benefits from physical exercise. So there was a smaller group, 20 to 30%, that was not responsive to the physical activity. So again, going back to the point that as you get older, those folks, if we can identify them, they may need additional other treatments to prevent aging and disabilities. It could be genetic. It could be mental, it could be things early in their lifespan they did that were not beneficial. So it is interesting, but we're all very different, and that's what one of the things of that study showed us. Mick Jagger, so he's on the stage. How old is he now? 70, or not that old?
Something like that.
Yeah, so he's mentally very engaged. You know, it's not only a physical function, but he's mentally motivated to get on the stage. He feels like he can contribute to society with his songs, even if they're old songs that he sang a lot of times. He's physically very fit on that stage. You can see that. He's probably had an interesting lifestyle when he was young. And he did probably some things that would not help him when he's old. But again, when you're young, you get away with murder, that's a joke, and you can get away with a certain lifestyle. But certainly when now he is 70, I think he's quite good with his health, his general health. You know, no drugs we're talking, and good nutrition. I think he's careful with that. But his mind is very strong, obviously, yeah.